TunePocket.com. TunePocket.com.
Good day to everyone out there, and welcome to the Sean Farrell podcast. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. And let's get right into it. So often, we associate depression, thoughts of suicide, with certain factors that can occur, such as financial woes, money loss, loss of job, breakup of a relationship or whatnot. So being the sports nut that I am, I was watching Bill Walton's documentary, NBA Basketball Hall of Famer Bill Walton, who had a 5-part series, I believe a 4 or 5-part series, which was called Luckiest Guy in the World. Okay. And Bill Walton just had some very bad luck throughout his NBA career. Just foot injury after foot injury, surgery after surgery. Drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers, traded to the, at that time, back in the late 70s, the San Diego Clippers, who eventually moved to Los Angeles. Then he got traded to the Boston Celtics. For those of you who may not know, when he was traded to the San Diego Clippers, Bill Walton played only like 14 games over a span of 4 years. So yeah, he played like 14 games over a span of 4 years. And his prime just went right by. Then he was traded to Boston. Had a Sixth Man of the Year award in 1986. Played in 80 games that year. The only time in his career, I believe, that he played in 80 plus games, if I'm not mistaken. And was training, then had another foot injury in 1987. And was training for a comeback in 1990. Fell to his feet. Actually fell to his knees because the pain in his foot was so much that he had to crawl back to his house. He had to crawl back to get hit inside. He was working out at home. And foot in his pain. The pain in his foot was just so great that he had to crawl back to get back inside. That was the end of his career. So he went into broadcasting, was pretty good at it, was one of my favorites, along with Marv Albert and Mike Fratello on the NBA on NBC. Actually, I was a big fan of Marv and Matt, Amara, Ashad, Bill Walton was one of my favorites. And then in the final years of the NBA on NBC, last couple of years, Mike Breen came aboard. So they were one of my favorites as well. But went into broadcasting. And he was doing a lot of traveling and didn't feel well. Didn't show up to a production meeting one day, and he eventually ended up losing his job as a broadcaster for ESPN. Then that's when things turned dark for him. He went into a deep depression, and more often than not, Jim Gray remembers Bill Walton. Jim Gray remembers Bill Walton telling him if he could get to a bridge and jump, that he would. Jim Gray, who was with the NBA on NBC, and he was with Bill Walton at ESPN, said he could hear the pain in Bill Walton's voice. And talking about his struggle with severe depression, Bill Walton said, "You think it's over, then it transitions into you want it to be over." And friends recalled, if Bill Walton actually wanted to do it, he would have made up his mind by now. And so they asked Bill Walton, why did he not do it? And he said he didn't know why he didn't do it. All he knows is that he's glad that he did not do it. Also went on to say, when you're in that space, it's clear that that is the path forward. And when there is no path forward, you can't see through the dark. You can't see through the darkness. And I think every person who has been through suicidal ideation, attempted suicide, can relate to that statement by Bill Walton. It's just like when you're suicidal and you can't see a way out. It's like you're being trapped. It's like you're being trapped. And when you get into that mentally dark headspace, when you start thinking about ending your life by suicide, you start to question yourself. You start to question the decisions that you have made over the course of the years. You start to question yourself. I know I started to question myself and some of the decisions that I made, and you start to question yourself. Okay, you start to question yourself, and you say to yourself, "Can I ever make a decision that will be right? Can I ever make a decision that that is good? Even if you make the right decision, you question yourself. You start to question yourself. Not only do you start to question yourself, you start to think to yourself, is anything ever good gonna happen? Is there anything good that can ever happen in my life? No, it's just when you're in that mentally dark headspace, you think negative things, negative, dark things. And can anything ever good happen to me? Am I really deserving of love. Do I really deserve to be with someone who sees me, he for me? Do I really deserve to do this, be that, this, that, the other? Then when you question yourself, you start to come to the conclusion that, hey, maybe something is wrong with me. Maybe something is wrong with me. And when you're in that mentally dark headspace, you start to say to yourself, well, if I can end my life by suicide, I won't have to worry about anybody questioning me. I won't have to worry about is something wrong with me. I won't have to worry about whatever has you in that dark place. You won't be able to think about that. If you just do this, if I just end my life, then I won't have to think about all these things. I won't have to think about the darkness. Won't have to think about being trapped. Won't have to think about being overwhelmed. Won't have to think about being in this financial situation, this, that, and the other. When you're in the dark space, you're just broken. You're just broken. You're just broken. You're just broken. And there was a situation that happened with me a little over a couple of months ago. I'm not talking about not necessarily what happened last year. No, I already discussed that, what happened last year. But there was a situation that occurred where I recently had to ask for help. Okay. There's a situation where I recently had to ask for help with a certain situation. And I kept saying to myself, no, because I would just rather suffer. I would just rather suffer and I just rather suffer than ask for help. And this had nothing to do with a situation that was going on with me mentally. This was a non-mental situation. Okay. Nonetheless, when I did finally ask for help, and I asked for help, it made me feel so less of a man, and it just left me temporarily broken for a few days, because you feel less of a man. Because it made me feel less of a man that I actually had to ask for help with this certain situation I was going through. And it made me feel so less of a man. And it made me feel broken. And I remember talking about this situation with a few friends. And there was a few people who said, well, we all need help from time to time. We all need help from time to time. But yeah, that's true. But still, it made me feel less of a man, and it really broke me. It really broke me. First of all, I received that help. Okay. I received that help. But after I received it, it broke me mentally. It broke me mentally. And I'll just go back to what Bill Walton said. You think it's over. Then it transitions into you want it to be over. And I wanted it to be over. I wanted to end my life by suicide. And but I didn't. And just like Bill Walton said, when it's clear that there's no path forward and you're just walking in darkness and there's not even a glimmer of hope. It's not even a glimmer of hope. And I was told by a friend that her ex-husband who ended his life by suicide said that before her ex-husband ended his life by suicide, she said that her ex-husband had to come to his parents for help with certain things. And so she may look at it one way, but I look at it as something a whole lot more differently. And like I said, it just completely broke me. It just completely broke me mentally. And I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to deal with life anymore. I didn't want to deal. I was just tired of dealing with life. I was tired. I was tired of dealing with life. I was tired of thinking something must be wrong with me if this is not happening, that is not happening. I was just tired of it. I was tired. And I wanted it to end. But it didn't. It didn't. And there are some excruciatingly painful days mentally. Just excruciating, painfully days mentally. Very excruciating to the point where that you just don't want to be here no more. That you just don't want to be here no more. You know? But here I am, still here. And you know what they say, if you're still alive, God's not done with you yet. And every time he wakes you up each morning, he has a plan for you. So yeah. All right, that is it, and that's all. Thank you for watching the Sean For Real podcast. I am out of here. Peace. God bless.